Hey guys, how are you? Do me a favor as you log on, go ahead and say hello. And we're going to get started in just a second. I want to make sure we are good. Yep, we are good. And oh, wow. What I'm trying to see is I'm trying to check on Instagram. I'm on, but for whatever reason, I seem to be a little bit crooked. So I don't know if I need to move to the right or move to the left. But as you guys are logging on, just say hi, Roz. How are you? And I'm gonna be really transparent with you guys today. For those of you all that don't know who I am, I'm Rosalind Hall. And for the last few weeks, we've been talking about one thing, and that's stop stopping. That's something that a lot of us women we're doing this over and over and over again, and it's becoming something normal because a lot of us women, when we're married, we've got children, we have jobs, or we're running a business, and that kind of like everything else gets in the way, and then we'll stop and we'll start again, right? And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's more of how we've been programmed over the years. And it's time for deprogramming, if you will. It's time for us to really um, do the work. Whoops. I'm trying to scoot up, but you see how that worked out. But it's time for us to do the work so that we can become better women, so we can become better to ourselves, really live the lives we we're that God wants us to live, the to be the people and the women that God wants us to be, because there is purpose in our lives. So again, we're talking about stop stopping. So this is for any woman who has a goal, dream, any vision or purpose like I said, the purpose that God has placed inside of you. But along the way, for some reason, you keep stopping. And maybe that's because maybe you're stopping with your weight loss journey. It could be in your business. It could be you're stopping every time you need to set boundaries. Maybe it's fear, and maybe you're stopping because of what somebody else said. But whatever it is, you keep stopping. And over the last few weeks, we've been in an identity shift class, and just with that, everything that I've been going through, and with the changes, I've really been able to see myself differently. But I realized some things. I realized that many of many of us keep stopping. I know it sounds funny, but one of the reasons why many of us stop stopping is because we don't it's not because we don't know what to do. We do know what to do. The problem is we have built a life carrying around an identity that doesn't belong to us. It's somebody else's opinion. It never has belonged to us. And every day we are working through three simple steps to keep ourselves on the path of change, on the path of growth. And I'm going to give you these things, just three simple steps, three things that you're going to do. And as I'm talking to you, some of these things I had to go through myself, and I'm not going to make it seem like it was really easy. It's some of these things I'm talking about. They they will make your stomach turn. They will make you get butterflies. They will make you say, "Oh my gosh, that was me." It will make your heart sink. But I want you to take out your pen and paper, because if this is you, if you went through some of these same things, if you put these things in place, you're going to be able to move quicker and change quicker. All right. And the first thing will be to become aware. And the second thing, number two, is what is the lie that we need to correct? And number three, you're going to take a brave step. And I'm going to walk you through each of those. So today we're about to take a brave step. That's the thing I want us to talk about today, taking that brave step. And guess what that brave step is? Setting the boundary. Setting the boundary. And I know that is something that we can probably all think about it. It's like, oh my gosh, you mean to tell me I got to tell somebody I can't do it, or I got to tell somebody no, or I got to tell some, that setting a boundary means drawing the line. It means drawing the line. It means you can't come over here no more. It means you're not going to be able to do this to me any longer. And that's the thing that we have to stop doing. And there are reasons why we have to stop allowing that. So ladies, I'm talking directly to you today. I'm talking directly to you, those who have ever noticed that some conversations put you automatically on defense before they even start. You'll see a name that come across the phone, right? And your heart starts beating fast. Somebody walk in the room and oh boy, you start looking down. You try to avoid the person. Or somebody may say, hey, did you hear about what so and so said? Or did you know what so and so did? And immediately when you get this information, or when you see these people, when you see it, you tense up. And you ain't even had the conversation. You haven't even been, that nothing has transpired except the presence of that person. It's all you can think of is, oh my God, here we go again. And that's the defense that I'm talking about. And a lot of times when that defense goes up like that, the first thing we think is, okay, oh boy, now I got to explain myself. You're already preparing to justify your decisions. And if you already know what I'm talking about, put I know in the comments if you've ever felt like that. And let me tell you what I've noticed. I tell you, I've noticed it in my own life several times. Even up until probably a couple of weeks ago, somebody's number would pop up. Someone would mention someone's name. It's like, oh my gosh, it just turned my stomach. It turned my stomach. But let me tell you where I noticed it in my life. This is just one place. My husband and I we would go on family vacations every year. We would plan the vacation. We were excited. I was excited. He was excited. The kids were excited. And then all we could think about was having a good time with our family. And then somebody would ask, so where y'all going? And before long, their opinions would start. Oh, I wouldn't spend my money on anything like that. I'd do something different. And you know what? Before I knew it, I wasn't enjoying that conversation with that person. Now I'm explaining. Now I'm defending. Now I'm trying to justify the decision of something that was never theirs to make in the first place. And maybe you've experienced that in other ways. Maybe it was for a trip that you were about to take. Maybe somebody told you, hey, well, I wouldn't, that's too much. You shouldn't go to this place. You could go to, I had a bad experience there. We're always honoring, yes, I said honoring somebody else's opinion. We need to stop that. Maybe it wasn't a vacation. Maybe it was your weight loss journey. And I've been there too. Somebody always got something to say. Oh, you look like you were losing weight for a minute. What happened? What the? Okay. I mean, though, y'all, when I'm talking about some real stuff, these things will set you back hundreds of yards back. But we don't need to do that. What we're doing is we're going to set some boundaries and let the people know you no longer have that type of access to me. It could have been a business. Not everybody's going to agree with the type of business that you're going to start. Not People have said things about my business not being successful. I just don't see how some people make money like that. I don't see that's none of their business. Maybe it's about how you're raising your kids, or maybe it was about something that God told you to do. Now listen, now they can start messing around in that area if they want to. That's a whole different story. But here's what I became aware of. I was living on defense all the time, y'all, and it was so exhausting. It was so exhausting. So remember, number one was become aware. Number two, what is the lie we need to correct? And the lie is this. This is the lie. I'm going to give you the lie, and then I'm going to give you the truth. The lie is, if I explain myself well enough, they'll understand. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But that's not your assignment. The lie is, a good woman says yes to everything. No, she don't. A healthy woman knows how to say no and when to say no. Here's another lie for you. If I don't answer every question, they're going to think something's wrong. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who gives a... But you don't have to answer every question. Every question does not deserve an answer. Every opinion does not deserve a response. And every criticism doesn't deserve a defense. Here's what I've learned. This is what I had to learn. And I'm not telling you that this was easy for me, because I've come a long way. I'm telling you, I've come a long way, but this is what I had to learn. I call the darn shots. I call all the shots with me. Not fear, not guilt, not somebody else's opinion, not somebody else's expectations. I call all the shots. You understand where I'm coming from? Listen, I understand that my posture changed. I understand my posture changed, but I want you to know I call the shots. This isn't about telling people off. And I know that's the posture that you probably see, because this is a familiar position. This is a familiar position that I used to carry a lot. And you're probably carrying it now, but you don't have to do that. We don't have to tell anybody off. It's not about being rude. It's not about cutting people out of your life. And it's about only protecting your peace. Just only protecting your peace. Again, you don't have to be rude. You're not going to have to tell anybody off. You're not going to have to yell at them. Once you stand your ground, that is it. And number three, the one brave step. So, what is that brave step today? You're going to set the boundary. You're going to set the boundary today. Not 10 boundaries, just one. And in order for you to do that, here's how. Number one, you are going to become aware of who's putting you on defense. Okay? You got to know who's doing it. And then who is it? You don't have to type it in. Just who is it? What conversation is it? What relationship is it? Because a lot of times when people do that to us, it's got to be somebody close. It's not just some random stranger, somebody close who has access to us. So what's causing you to feel like you always got to explain? All right. And here's the number two. Ask yourself this. What are we not doing anymore? What are we not allowing anymore? We're not answering questions because it ain't nobody else's business. We're not over-explaining our decisions. We're not giving everybody access to our peace. We're not giving everybody access to our peace. Maybe we're asking permission to become the woman. I'm sorry. Maybe we're not asking for permission to become the woman that God created us to be. I'm going to ask you this again because I want you to really think about it. What are we not allowing anymore? Are we not allowing us to answer questions when it's nobody's business? Are we not over explaining our decisions anymore? Are we not giving everybody access to our peace anymore? Are we not asking for permission to become the women that God wants us to become? What are we not doing anymore? Because if you think about it, in those few questions that I gave, those are the things that we're giving. Think about think about how all of this is affecting our peace. So that's what we're not doing anymore. And finally, hold the boundary. And I mean, hold on. You got to hold on. Listen, I need you to really commit to this thing, because when it comes down to holding that boundary, I mean, it's almost like it's a gate. You're trying to keep people from coming through the gate. You hold on tight. I hope you got your boots on. But it's not going to really take all that, because you're going to do it without feeling guilty. You're going to do it without a 5-minute explanation. You're going to do it without explaining yourself to people, defending yourself. Sometimes no is a complete answer. Listen, I've already made my decision. I'm not discussing that. I don't feel comfortable sharing that. And then you stop talking. That's how you're going to stop those things. You don't owe anybody any type of explanation why you now have, oh, now you got boundaries. Yes, I do. And I'm glad you recognized it. I have boundaries now. I'm not, we're not doing that anymore. And here's the thing that really, 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 really got me, because taking this identity shift class over the last 80 something days, it made me realize that, ladies, this is bigger than a boundary. This is an identity shift. Like, the old version of me thought that everybody deserved access to me, thought that everybody could come in when they wanted to say anything they wanted to say to me. They could ask me anything and I'm going to give them the answer. It doesn't matter. And here's the thing, what people tend to forget is people confuse respect and access. They get it all confused. Respect, access, I'm an elder, all those things. People confuse those things with how they come at you and make you feel like, yes, you need to tell me what's going on. No. But this new version of me, it understands that access is only earned. And the old version of me explained everything, but not no more. The new version protects my peace. The old version lived in defense. Think about it. If I was the old Roz, I'd be telling you something totally different, how to handle these people. I would, but I'm not that person anymore. There's a way to do it so that you can continue to have your peace. This new version of me lives on purpose. That is the identity shift. And I hope that you get that. And in closing, I really want to leave you with this. Over the last few weeks, we have been talking about purpose, and we've been talking about becoming, and we've been talking about the fruit of the Spirit also. And we've been talking about joy and peace and confidence and living at a higher level. And I've realized something. It is very hard to keep your joy high. It's just as hard to keep your peace high. It's even harder to keep your confidence up high. And when you're constantly living on defense, ladies, listen, you don't have to tolerate disrespect. I don't have to give everybody unlimited access to my life. And you don't have to answer every question. And you don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to honor everybody else's opinions, because every time you do, your peace goes down, your joy goes down, your confidence goes down. And today you got to take that one brave step, and that step is to set that boundary. Because when you stop living on defense, you finally have the freedom to become the woman that God created you to be. And if this message really touches you and you understand exactly where I'm coming from, I want you to type in the comments, I call the shots. So, ladies, if this is no is a whole thing, no is a whole thing. So, ladies, if you've been allowing any and everybody to just come in and have access to you anytime they get ready, I've already laid it out for you. Follow that guide to stop that. Follow that guide to let them know, no, you just don't have access to me like that anymore. And I want you to tell them with a straight face. And one day when you see them and they say, hey, how are you? And you look at them and say, I'm great. How are you? And guess what? The respect will show up at that moment that they have for you. So listen, all this is it's a power trip. It's a power trip that you didn't know you had, and you thought you had to fight for it, but you don't. It's yours because you call the shots. I love you guys. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow because listen, this doesn't end here. We're just starting and just beginning. I love you guys.